Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, and welcome to the Amateur Otaku Podcast. How is everybody doing out there? I am Brandon, the Scarlet Fan here, and I'm really excited to be here live once more to talk anime with everybody out there. Isak, my co-worker, my partner in crime, my thing. I got nothing. Isak, what's up, man?
Wait. I didn't time travel? Didn't I?
Well, I mean, you're here for the recording on Gintama, right? Is that what we're doing today?
Ah, shit.
Isak, how you doing, buddy?
I'm tired.
I'm
sound extremely tired.
You sound a little more flustered than usual, and flustered is your middle name. I saw your birth certificate.
Maybe.
Maybe. Could you imagine if your middle name was flustered? That would just add to the anime seasonings of your life. Then again, have you found an anime that mimics your life?
Yep.
What's the name of it?
I have. Disastrous Life of Psyche K.
I can't wait to one day come visit you in Sweden and see you pull an old man out of your bag. I'm waiting for that iconic moment to be made into life. But I digress. So, guys, welcome to the Amateur Otaku Podcast, where we talk anime for those that love anime, and we talk anime for those that have never taken the leap, no pun intended, into the world of anime, into a show. We cover a show for your delight, whether you've seen it before so you can enjoy and have a conversation with us, or whether or not you don't know if anime is for you, or if a particular show is for you, or movie. That's what we do. We cover here in the Amateur Otaku. We try and do it in the most informative fashion, but not spoilery, unless it's like we're actively reviewing something that's big or whatever. But we try and keep it as much spoiler-free as we can, because what we want is to introduce you to something that you want to watch. You want to go and watch yourself and enjoy, because there's so much anime out there for everybody. And we're really excited to be here on episode. When we do live streams, we don't give numbers, but technically this is episode 19 of season 2. So we're really excited that this is going live. And of course, if you like what we're doing here at the Amateur Otaku Podcast, don't forget to subscribe, like, share with your friends, comment, and more importantly, if you're on YouTube, don't forget to hit like. Don't forget to click on the bells. The little bell that you see there next to the subscribe button, don't forget to click on the bell for notifications so that you don't miss any live stream, you don't miss any episode, you don't miss any announcement. So you can be on the know on everything that has to do with the Amateur Otaku Podcast. My boy Leo, what is up, dude? Thank you for joining us. It's always a pleasure to have you around, Leo. That's Leo in the comments. That's our good friend Leo Harmon from Geekly Goods. And not only that, he is the one that actually did the recommendation for the previous episode that we did on Smile Down the Runway, which is a very good episode. And Leo, if you haven't seen Smile Down the Runway, go check out the episode, because I know you'll have a good time.
It's very fashionable.
And there's Isak. I knew I was talking way too long. But yeah, Leo, hopefully that review that we did motivates you to go see it, because I think it's a show that's good if that's what you're into. So, Isak, we're going to talk about a movie, right? We're going to talk about a movie that we've been kind of discussing that we want to cover for the longest time. We've done anime films from the 90s, from the 80s. We've done anime films of Studio Ghibli. I think the Studio Ghibli films are the most anime films that we've done. We've done like 4 Studio Ghibli movies, I think. But there's other...
5.
We did 5? Maybe.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of other great companies and studios that have done amazing movies. And this year we started with covering movies by different directors that have been critically acclaimed in Japan and in the States. As you guys know, the first YouTube video that we ever did was on on Makoto Shinkei's Your Name, which was a groundbreaking phenomenon in 2016. And now we're going to talk about a 2006 film that was... It's 2006. I verified. Trust me. It's a 2006 film that put Mamoru Hosoda on the map. And this film is none other than The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. That is our topic for today. We're going to be talking about this movie. It's funny. I think this is the first time that we do an episode like this where we have just seen the movie for the first time. I've seen it for the first time. You saw it for the first time. It's not something that you've seen before.
So this is a first timer for me.
Yeah, so we're actually covering something that both of us have only seen for the first time. So I'm really excited to talk about this. I just saw it, and Isaac, I gotta admit, it's been a while since I've gone on a rabbit hole descent of madness. I saw the movie.
Always go into a rabbit hole.
No, normally it's a sinkhole. This was like an Alice in Wonderland rabbit hole. Like I just kept falling down into madness.
No, there's always a rabbit hole, especially the whole. What's the Darling in the Franxx one?
Oh, that's such a good episode. I love Darling. Okay, Isaac, don't change the topic. Okay, we're not talking about Darling today. See.
Go check out that in episode. That's one of our favorites.
I gotta say this, Doc. You guys see it here live. Doc Isaac is the one that pushes me down the rabbit hole.
Want some tea, bud?
Calm down. Matt, I'm gonna. You know what? We should change your name from Doc Isaac to Mad Hatter Isaac. But then again, you'll end up fighting Robert Pattinson, and that's gonna be weird. So okay, damn it, Isaac. Back to topic. So, Leo, don't encourage.
We're gonna talk about the movie, Leo. Don't you worry.
Yeah. So, okay. So, I saw the movie and I was really intrigued because the movie, like, I got mixed feelings about, but I'm trying to wrap my head around it. So what I did was I did some research on where the movie comes from, and it's actually based on a novel from the 60s, which is very interesting. It's based on a novel from the 60s that's had multiple different interpretations and adaptations, whether it's live or written. And interestingly enough, this movie is not an adaptation of the novel. It is considered like a pseudo sequel, kind of. So it's kind of like inspired more than anything by the novel that was written by Yasutaka Tsutsu. It's inspired by that novel, but it's an original story with original characters, and somewhat it feels more like, you know how in Weathering with You, which is another Makoto Shinkei movie, in Weathering the View, you have scenes where you see Taka and I forgot the name of the girl. I feel horrible now. Where you see the two main characters like as what you say as cameos. You know what I'm talking about? That the main characters of Your Name cameo in Weathering with You. You caught that, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So this movie.
Point.
Well, I didn't hear your answer. I wasn't sure. So this movie kind of does that with characters of the original novel, even though we really haven't seen them before, and they don't really do it outright. So I found that interesting. But yeah, I ended up reading the manga that was adapted based on this movie too, that has other scenes that were in the movie. And I don't know. I think it's an interesting story, but I have mixed feelings about it because of the decisions that they make. But I think it was a good, decent movie altogether. Isaac, what are your thoughts on The Girl Who Leapt Through Time?
Honestly, I'm torn about it because I liked that movie for the most part. But then we had, like, what was it? The last 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, the last 15 to 20 minutes. Yeah.
I was, what?
Yep.
Hey, I say that this is you should watch it. I'm just torn about the ending, buddy.
Now, so the ending. So it's last 20 minutes that got you going like, ugh. I think.
Leo, there is an anime that's based on a novel too. Check out Japan Sinks 2020.
That's based on a novel as well.
Yeah, as far as I know.
Nice. So I know what you mean, Isaac. Like this movie has a particular rhythm to it, a particular inspiration, and the way it plays around with the ideas of time travel or time leaping, or whatever they want to call it. But the last 20 minutes feel that come out of nowhere. But at the same time, because of the subject matter, it's kind of something you were expecting, but I gotta admit, like with you, Isaac, it kind of like hit me in a way that I was not expecting. That kind of like shifts the tone a bit too much. But yes, still overall, I agree with you, Isaac. It's a good movie. It's a movie that should be watched. It should be enjoyed. Now I'm gonna read a quick summary of the film, and then we're gonna go ahead and jump.
Didn't you just do that?
No, I didn't give a summary.
Go on.
Isaac, by the way, you know that you time traveled 3 days in the past. You are aware we're not talking about Gintama yet.
Oh, right.
Okay. Gintama is in 3 weeks. Actually, okay, so here's the summary. Here's the summary of The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. Here we go. Makoto Kono is your typical high school girl. Gets up late for school every day, does okay in class, and enjoys her time with her two best friends, Chiaki and Kusuke. This all changes when a bike ride goes wrong and she falls into the path of an upcoming train. She should have died, but instead finds out that she traveled in time. She finds that she has gained the mysterious ability of being able to leap through time. With this new talent as her secret weapon through high school, Makoto seeks to have as much fun as possible by going back and reliving those moments that she enjoyed the most and avoiding those that caused her discomfort. She quickly realizes that messing with time is not always the best pastime. This is The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, inspired by the novel written by Yasutaka Tsutsu, directed by Mamoru Hosoda, and produced by MadHouse. And I think
we are not sponsored by MadHouse. We just remember that we are not sponsored by MadHouse. We promise.
we promise. We are not sponsored by MadHouse, even though everything that we cover from MadHouse is amazing. But
let's keep on going.
So yes, this is The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. And like we said, it was based on this novel of the same name. But I think the best word to use is not based, it's inspired, because it is an original story in the same world, using similar concepts. When I was doing research on this, one of the things that I found out is that the original novel, the way it plays out, it's more like a Groundhog Day kind of thing. Like the girl in that book keeps reliving the same day, as opposed to having power over the ability of leaping forward or backwards in time like Makoto has on this movie, which to me adds to the interesting aspects of the movie. But let's jump in. I do want to say, spoiler alert to everybody. We are not necessarily going to hold back on spoilers on this one. This is a movie that came out in 2006. We're going to try and hold off critical pieces of information, but there are certain things that are going to be spoiled. So we're going to do as much best we can to do a review that gives the movie justice, but more importantly, that allows you to go see it and enjoy it for yourself, because that's what we want the most. So Isaac, let's jump in. How about we take it in levels, right? Let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is, I think, the most crucial part of any review of this kind of movie. Time travel. The way it's used in this movie. I think that it is, what's the word I'm looking for? It is
streamlined, fitting.
Yes, but there's a word I'm looking for. I can't believe I can't think about it right now. Word, where are you? Removed from the mask. It is okay. It is contained enough so that it doesn't feel like it's going out of control. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you have a theme or you have an idea and you put it, and it just ruins everything because like the writers can lose their grip on what they're trying to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think the way they use time travel in this film is very contained, and it fits very well with the story beats of the film, which I think is one of the high points, because you and I both know that when it comes to time travel, it is a double-edged sword. It can go really bad, or it can go really well. And I think it's safe to say that this is one of those movies that it does it really well because it doesn't over-explain things, and it uses it it uses it for different effects. Like it's not just a MacGuffin. It uses this to create emotional moments. It uses it to create tension. It uses it to create comedic moments. Which, by the way, can we talk about how every time she literally has to time travel, she literally has to leap, and she literally crashes every time she lands on the time period.
It's a good thing. It's a miracle that she doesn't have a concussion at the end of the movie.
Well, here's the thing: we never saw her hospital bill, so we don't know.
Yeah, true.
We don't know. But then again, that's how you go in anime. That is the strength of youth. So
true.
But yeah, like it's very interesting how that's the mechanic. And I've never seen it done that way. One could say that the movie Jumper does something like that, but Jumper doesn't time travel. And it's Hayden Christensen, so that's a different story. But Jumper is a good movie, though. But I like the dynamic of her, and I like how because this is a character. Let's talk about Makoto Kono, which is the main character. She is 15, I believe, and she's a very active, tomboyish girl that loves spending time with friends, playing baseball, going to karaoke, doing everything that a normal teenage girl would do. And she is a very upbeat, optimistic, playful character. And I love how the time travel element kind of is used to accentuate those characteristics of her. You know what I mean? You know, it's not like for example, It's not like in Death Note, right? I know there's like a curveball, but it's not like in Death Note. The whole point of that story is that the Death Note changes Light Yagami. It transforms him into this new person. This is not what happens with her. She gains his ability, and all you see it is her using it to accentuate the things that distinguish her as who Makoto is, and it does it for the good and the bad. And I love how they're able to use this sci-fi element of time travel to explore all the good sides and all the bad sides of teenage life. Because how many times have we been in a situation, even in adult life, right, where we just want to go rewind.
Oh, there are tons of times that I want to rewind, and you know that one.
Yep, and I love that this movie does it in a way that kind of acknowledges that the life of a teenager is hard. You know what I mean? So
you can say Teen times fall.
What?
I'm tired. Okay.
No, I can see that. But yes, I think this is a very fun movie. I think, like you said, Isaac, it's up to those last 20 minutes where they make certain decisions that, to me, because of the element of time travel, you have like, there's no way that you can walk away from a time traveling movie without explaining how it works to a degree. And the fact that the last 20,
I don't know about that. I think you could have it being up to interpretation, honestly, because
yeah, that's
well, you-
that's true. That's true. But at the same time, I think, let's put it this way. It was one way of doing it. The way they did it in this movie was one way of doing it. And I can't necessarily say that it was wrong simply because I didn't necessarily like it. Because one of the things that I did find out is that's kind of, that is very similar to how the book ends. You know what I mean?
I've never read that, so I can't say. And
No. So pretty much, so like I said, so you have so the original novel, which is The Girl Who Leapt Through Time from the 60s, right? She has like a Groundhog Day situation, and pretty much what happens is one of her best friends is like replaced by this person from the future. Yeah.
then we should spoiler warning.
Well, I'm talking about the book. I'm not talking about the movie. I'm talking about the book. So apparently at the end, because this person from the future has to go back to his time, he pretty much tells the girl that falls in love with him, or that he falls in love with, I will see you one day in the future. But before he leaves and takes away all the ability, he literally wipes the memory of everybody so that nobody remembers who he is. So nobody remembers that this happened. But there is a moment in the book where this reality, this truth comes out. And the girl that leapt through time finds out that she was able to leap through time because she came into contact with this person. And so it all kind of like, that's how those stories intertwined. But I like how, but what this movie does that I think is very smart is that this guy, the person that plays quote unquote the future guy role in this film, it's someone that you're never going to expect because of the way that he's introduced. And I'm going to leave it.
But it's at the same time came out of nowhere, at least in the movie, and that I just felt.
Yes.
I'm not going to go into details on what's happened exactly, but the revelation felt like they wanted to be a cop out.
I don't disagree with you, but here
because and then they make it look like okay, she's going to go back to change something that she did wrong, but then she'd essentially do create what happened prior to the event. So I'm just, why do this at the first place? Because she essentially didn't change anything.
Well, that's the thing though, because remember, and here lies the traditional slice of life teenage trauma. It's not about the fact that she changed anything. It's about the fact that she changed. That she grew as a person. That she changed as a character. That's what the story is about. So everything that happened, even though nobody necessarily, like, because everything was kind of like tabula rasa, everything was like pretty much erased to a degree, but she remains changed by everything. Now, that being said, I gotta say that even though it was a little startling when they get to this point in the movie, I like that they were able to stick to their guns, and that they didn't, and that they never once contradict their time travel rules. Like there's always a price, there's always a reason, and even though she fixes what she did wrong, she still technically loses to a degree, which to me was satisfying. To me, that was like the one satisfying thing. Like, she didn't necessarily get what she wanted to a degree, but she still gained the experience that you're supposed to get when you go through a life-changing situation.
Honestly, I would have cut about the last 15 to 20 minutes and let it end the way the time where you think it's gonna end, because sure, it's on a more sour note, but then she sort of learned that you might it might not be better to sort of like thick when not everything goes as planned, so to speak.
Now, let me see if I understand what you're trying to say. Are you saying that you would have preferred for
exactly
the tragedy to happen?
Yeah, I would have preferred it to end there, because while it would have been a sad note, it would have sort of have made it show that, okay, if she hadn't done all that, that wouldn't have happened. Now it just felt like I don't know, it just felt, it didn't felt like it fit. Because, sure, I get what you're saying, and to a certain degree, I should probably have expected that kind of ending, considering the director, but I could still not just being. I was still not that keen of that ending, honestly.
And I get what you're saying, because in some movies, ending on that note increases the impact of the lesson, right? But then again, it would have changed the objective of the story. Like, the objective of the story.
I don't know about that.
Well, here's what I mean by that. I am thinking about it from the angle of a YA drama that's meant to be a light novel for girls. You know what I mean? And I don't mean that and I'm not saying that it can't be tragic. I'm not saying that.
Let me also say that this thing. She went back because she felt bad that she messed up, but then she went bad and essentially get the same ending anyway.
Well, not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Yeah.
No, because remember, on the first, let's put it this way: on ending number one,
Yeah, this movie has essentially 3 endings, you can argue.
Yeah, because of the time travel element. On ending number, so technically it's ending number 2. On ending number 2, she would have lost everything, but also lost him, right? And he would have left stuck somewhere in the world, lost as well, because he had no way of getting home. So when she goes back the last time, was to give him a way home. So that's what she fixes. She still loses. She
showed that he also had. He was able to.
No, but he only got it back because she went back. Because remember, he uses and I'm okay. Full spoilers.
Let me ask you this:
Uh-huh.
if she gets one extra try of it all, why wouldn't he get one?
Well, that's the thing. Well, that's the thing. She didn't get an extra try. That's how it looks, but that's not what happened. She used her last one, but because he went farther back than her, it's like she never used hers. But he used his last one. So we're talking about, so pretty much another element of this movie is that she has a limited quantity of times that she can leap through time. She found this out late in the game when she was almost running out, but she is only able to jump a certain amount of times through time. So every time she jumps or leaps and travels, whether it's further or backwards, she loses a quantity. So it's like an MP meter. So every time she uses magic, she uses MP, blah, blah, blah. So towards the end of the movie, where similar to that movie Out of Time, whatever, with Justin Timberlake, with the weird things in time, whatever, when she runs out of time, when she runs out of tries, it happens at a moment where a tragedy occurs that she cannot fix because she ran out of quarters, pretty much, to be able to travel. So what happened, Isaac, is she doesn't have any more quarters, right? Let's call them quarters. She has no more leaps and no more quarters. But since he uses quarter to go further behind than her, it's like she never used hers. It's not that she gains an extra one. It's like she never used hers. But when he used
the whole way you're talking about make me think about the movie In Time with Justin Timberlake.
That's the one that's kind of what I was going through. So he goes back, and then it's like she never used hers, but he used his last one. That's why he leaves and says that he's stuck and he can never go home, and that's why she's heartbroken, because he can never go home. So what she does is she does the same thing again. She goes further back than he did, so that he recovers the one he lost, but now she's without any. But at the same time, she prevents whatever can happen to happen. So now he can go home. So she fixes the issues. Literally, it's like nothing ever happened, but she still remembers everything that she did. So she learns, she grows as a person, but she still loses because the person she cares about has to leave back to his wherever he needs to go. And to me, now that I'm thinking about it, I like the ending now, but that's the mechanic around the ending. So it's not that they get extra tries, is that because of the time travel mechanic, it's a recycling. But at the end of the day, she does lose at the end. She gains all the experience that life gives you, but she still loses because she still doesn't get what she wanted or part of what she wanted, but she's content because she knows that she's grown as a person, which is why these movies like this exist.
I don't know. It just feels... I get what you're saying, but it just feels... She gets that one post the whole conversation.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't get it. She notices after, and then she realizes that because
didn't she notice earlier that she didn't have one? Then you suddenly get one afterwards.
Well, that's the thing. She notices that she ran out when she's on the floor, seeing the tragedy happen.
Yeah, and if she has one all suddenly again, that's why I'm just questioning why wouldn't he have?
Well, that's what I'm saying. The only reason she had one is because when he went further back than her, it's like she never used his. You understand? When he went further back, he erased. It's like he never used it. It canceled hers out, so she got a refund. Okay. So she had one left, but he had zero. But then she did the same thing, so it refunded his. but she lost whatever she had.
Okay, I see now what you're meaning, and then makes me even more. It makes me even more prefer having to prefer the first ending, so to speak.
No, and that's fine. And you know what? What we can do, Isaac, is you can watch the movie again, and then when your version of the movie ends, finish it, and then you're gonna put it on Twitter. Hey guys, here's the real ending. Here's the Isaac cut of The Girl Who Lived Through Time, and you're gonna form your movement, and we're all gonna get T-shirts. The Girl Who Lived Through Time. The
Don't
Isaac
go
Wolf
down
cut.
this rabbit hole, buddy.
The Isaac cut. But yeah, it's totally fair. But that's the cool. Come on, it was fun, but
no, it was not.
It was a little funny. So, but I get what you're saying.
Now
Isaac.
you're going to give. I'm gonna give you a timeout.
Oh my god! But this is a movie that, because it has the time travel element, it you have to stick with it till the end to see what the author's intention is. But I get what you're saying. If you want to live in an alternative timeline where the movie ended differently, you can do that too, which is interesting because not many movies give you like the ability to be able to judge a movie in those different terms. Oh, I like this ending better, or this ending better, or this ending better. Mostly like video games tend to do from time to time. So I think your assertion is fair, my friend. Now, can we talk about how Makoto is a fantastic character? I think she's a very good.
Can we also talk about how the character designs feel straight out of Devil's Man Crybaby for some reason?
As in the new version?
Yeah.
And it's funny because Devil May Cry Baby came out like what? 12 years after this?
I know.
Yeah. I find it interesting how they went for this hyper realistic animation.
Yeah, guess what the director's first big movie is, by the way.
I think I read this somewhere. Don't tell me. I think damn it. I'll figure this out. And no, I'm not using Google. You can't prove that I'm using Google. There's no way that you can prove that Digimon. I use Google.
Yep, and you checked that out.
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
Google.
And looking at the design there, it's very similar.
Yeah, especially for that movie. And I like how, did you know that this guy applied to work for Studio Ghibli and they rejected him?
Yeah.
And the funniest thing that he got a rejected letter of praise by Hayao Miyazaki. Did you know that he was originally going to direct Howl's Moving Castle?
Don't surprise me one bit.
But then he didn't like the way Studio Ghibli, there was studio meddling at Ghibli, and he walked away. Okay, this is not a controversy podcast. I'm going to walk away from that one.
Studio Ghibli in itself is an episode you can go through, considering Hayao Miyazaki's history. But that's another point for another day.
Yeah. So, The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, I mean, it's full of great characters. I love all the moments in the school. They all feel authentic. Especially like the whole thing with the relationships and how conversations about relationships develop naturally among teens. I find it crazy that once a character disappears, how everybody's talking about rumors about outlandish crap that is probably the reason that he disappeared. Like, it's crazy. Oh, I heard he got an older woman pregnant. It's like, oh my god, like it's crazy. But that's the way kids are. You know what I mean?
Only thing I think Makoto is a really good character because she didn't feel like a stereotype.
Yeah.
But it's also, but at the same time, it felt like it's a character that you've seen before, but at the same time, it wasn't a stereotype. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. It's a character. It's a character that I think what you're trying to say is she's a new, fresh character for us because we've never seen the movie, but she is so relatable that it feels like a character that we've seen before. You know what I mean? I I, I think that's what it is. So I got a bit of a piece of trivia, Isaac. You ready for this?
That's how trivial it is.
Oh my god. You couldn't help yourself, could you?
Never.
Sparta! No. I'm sorry. So we are meant to believe, right, that Makoto's aunt, whose name is never pronounced, we are meant to believe that she is the original girl who leapt through time from the book. Which is why she's able to easily understand what Makoto's going through.
That wouldn't surprise me. By the way,
Mm-hmm.
I wonder. I haven't read the original novel and all that yet, so I don't know. But you know the picture that they focused on?
Yes, that's exactly why. That's exactly why I said it.
My question is, were there foreshadowing that the character that was the original time traveler, so to speak, was the same character that her aunt got in love with?
No, because
Because
their motives for because one of the things that he's in my understanding, no, for two reasons. Number one, the first time that the time traveler in the book, and when I say the book, the original novel, in my understanding, he was here in this time kind of stuck, and he was making medicine for some reason. And then the second one is the one for the movie, or for this movie, he was here just because he wanted to look at a work of art. But the most interesting thing about it is that one of the things that this particular character says in the film is that time travel is a possibility that anybody can do. So it's not something that's directly linked to a specific person.
you know what I was wondering at first when I saw the last during the movie, especially the last conversation between the two. I was starting to wonder if her aunt, through some weird time paradox, was Makoto, and she talked to her younger self.
That could have been interesting. That would have been interesting, but that's not the case.
Yeah, but you see what I mean?
Yeah. I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. But
Because
it's more
that would have fit in the movie.
right. But you know what's interesting though, and this is something that I learned because as a maniac, I ended up buying the manga adaptation
Of
of
course
this
you
movie.
did.
Of course, I did. Right. There is an epilogue in the book where you see Makoto's aunt fixing her sleeves, and she still has one leap left. So she never used her last jump. She still has it.
I
Which
did
was,
not notice that.
well, no, it's not in the movie. That's the thing. It's not in the movie. It's only
Okay.
they only show it in the manga, but of course, which is interesting. Which pretty much confirms that that's who she's meant to be. She's meant to be a version of the original Girl Who Leapt Through Time, which is interesting because when you look through this about with this over media, like you have the Girl Who Leapt Through Time book novel that was written 1965, I think it was. It's been a while. You have that. You have a film that was done in the 80s. You have this movie that is not an adaptation, but like a loose sequel from the original book. And then you have a live action movie that is a loose sequel to the book, which is on Amazon. And I think it's Japanese. And then you have like a 5-episode miniseries that's based on the anime movie. It's weird. Like it's everywhere. Like there's different versions. But what I like about that is that the version that we got, the anime version of The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, is an original version for the anime. So it's unique. So if
You mean it's the original version of the book?
No, not even that, because the book. Because remember, if the anime movie,
original sequel,
right, to the book, right. So it's so even though all the shows that are out there, all the live action adaptations are loosely based sequels from the book. Like I think there's only one movie, which is like one of the older movies, that's like an adaptation of the book itself. But that was like years ago. But yeah, so I like the fact that the anime version that we have is a unique anime version. So like people can watch the different versions if they really like the storyline, and just fill up with it. You know what I mean? Like I actually also started watching the Amazon one, the live action one, and pretty much the live action one takes place like in this one. The original Girl Who Left Through Time grew up to be a scientist, and she develops a serum that her daughter uses to go back in the past, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, I mean, I think this movie was very popular in Japan. Like it won awards like crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, the animation for the year is fantastic. I think the storyline. I think it's fair that we have either issues or we kind of struggle with the time paradox and stuff like that, because it's not supposed to be easy thing to digest. But you can't deny that it's a good a good YA story, a good YA drama, and I think it's a great anime film. What do you think, Isaac?
Yeah. Outside of the last 15 to 20 minutes, I certainly agree, because, like I said, I wasn't that keen of the ending.
# watch the Isaac cut.
Oh, come on, not again.
You have created this monster. But yeah.
And I'm going to get to the rabbit hole on the older animes that I'm going to force you to watch. Older anime that makes you love the Neon Genesis Evangelion even more.
Why do you hate me so? So Isaac, we've done it.
How do I love you so? Because I want to. Because I want you to learn more about anime history. That's why.
You sure? You sure that's all it is? You sure that's all it is? Anime history.
Yep. And giving you a migraine.
Okay, guys. So we've done it. Isaac, we've done it. We've covered The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. We've had a great conversation for everybody out there. Guys, if you love great teenage growth, coming of age stories, this is a great story. Makoto is a great character. It's filled with great characters, crisp, lifelike animation. The soundtrack is pretty good. It doesn't really stand out. I do want to say that the soundtrack of the movie doesn't necessarily stand out, but it's good for the film. The way you just time travel, it's pretty unique, pretty smart. It's pretty confined for our enjoyment. We have differing opinions on the treatment of time travel towards the ending, but it does not take. Whether you like it or not, it does not take away of the great movie The Girl Who Leapt Through Time is. It won multiple awards in 2006, and here at the Amateur Otaku, we tell you, go check it out. You need to watch this film. It's a fantastic film, and hopefully, this will bring interest to Mamoru Hosoda's ever-expanding library of films. Isaac, I did not know that this is the director of Wolf Children, which is a movie that looks so interesting. What'd you say?
I knew that.
I did not know. I'm not surprised that, Isaac, this was my moment, okay?
It's never your moment.
That's true. As long as you're around.
Yes.
But yeah, maybe this will, because Studio Ghibli is not the only amazing director. It's not the only amazing company out there. There's a lot of different companies that are coming out that have come out with great movies, and we hope to cover them all. I hope that one day we'll be able to do The Boy and His Beast. We'll be able to do Wolf Children, and a lot of other movies that he's done. But I'm glad that we were able to cover this one, The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, which is kind of the film that put him on the map, really. So I'm really happy about that. Isaac, you got anything else? Do we have any questions or comments today?
No, we don't have any questions.
Okay.
Or, well, certainly what I know.
So let's go ahead and do our little plugs and get out of here. Isaac, where can we find you, my brother?
You can find me over at Twitter at the handle you see on the screen, and you see my work at the Wobam Entertainment.
And you can find me on Twitter at the ScarletFan52. You can find me on Facebook as Brandon Alvarado, and you can find me on Instagram at the ScarletFan52. I cover anything in regards to comics, animes, things that I love, music, things that I write. I am a crazy artist. I love things, and you'll find me there. If you guys have any anime shows, anything that you guys want us to cover here on this show, please let us know on Twitter at Amateur Otaku Pod. That's at Amateur Otaku Pod. Or send us an email, amateurOtakuRTF@gmail.com. That is amateurOtakuRTF@gmail.com. We look forward to seeing you next week, where we'll be talking about the Bleach anime. We already talked about the Bleach live action movie, but now we're going to talk about the Bleach anime, and we're going to talk a little bit more extensively of that world and how it's a great topic for Halloween season. And so
it won't be a bleak episode, we promise you.
Oh my God. There's the first pun of the week. So if you love Bleach, come join us. Let's talk Bleach. I'm going to be honest, I haven't seen the entirety of the film, but we're going to cover mostly the first couple of arcs up to the Byakuya fight at the Soul Society, where Ichigo uses his Bankai for the first time, which is actually pretty exciting. So join us at the Amateur Otaku Pod next week, Wednesday, at our standard time of 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We look forward to seeing you, and thank you for joining us. Have it awesome, guys. Peace.
Hello.